Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? What's happening, everybody? How we doing? How we feeling on this nice Saturday following Thanksgiving Day? Happy late Thanksgiving to everybody. Early Merry Christmas, early New Year's. You know, we are in the midst of the holiday season. If you anything like me, you ate a lot of food, which trust me, I didn't need to do. I didn't need to do, but you know, it's Thanksgiving, family cooked food. So naturally I'm gonna eat it. But with that being said, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, had the opportunity to spend some time with your family, um, watch some football, take some days off work and just really, relax and kind of reset yourself a little bit. So hope everybody has had again a happy Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving weekend. We got Atlanta Falcons football tomorrow, and we are here for the 30-minute break, which will proceed the game tomorrow against the Chargers. The Falcons will be back at home after a bye week. So definitely hoping that we can get back on the winning side of things. So we got a few things we're gonna talk about. Again, this is a 30-minute break, so we definitely won't be here very long at all. We aim to do this in 30 minutes or less. Before we get started, let's jump into these comments real quick. We got Josh Gilham in the building. Says if we trade Kirk this offseason, then that means Terry better be right behind him banging on Terry. Fun no. Yeah, we're gonna get into that, man. This week alone, within the last week or so, I have seen two different reports talking about trading Kirk Cousins in the offseason. So, I felt like, hey, let's talk on that real quick because I'm starting to see it. I saw it on Bleacher Report not long ago, and then I seen it recently on Sports Illustrated. So that talk is starting to get out there, so I figured, we'll talk about it, y'all tell me what y'all think about it. And Josh said if it happens, well, Terry better be right behind him. And hey, I do understand that. Trust me, I do understand that. Ark is in the building. What's going on, Ark? How you doing? Says Rise Up, my guy. Rise Up to you also, Ark, bro. Hope you're doing real good today. Josh also says Terry done effed around and ruined this team. So saying Terry Fontenot has ruined the Falcons franchise. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all agree with Josh in saying that Terry has ruined the franchise, or do you feel a little differently? Got our brothers Travis in the building, representing that 478 in the building. Shout out to the entire 478 in this thing, man. What's going on with you, Travis, bro? Appreciate you coming in. He says, I could see Kirk being traded. It's just the fact of having to eat that contract and making sure Penix is ready. Excellent comment, man, because both of your points are extremely valid. And we would need to be concrete on both points. What do you do about Kirk Cousins dead cap that you would have to deal with if he is traded? And you got to make sure Michael Penix is ready. As Josh indicated a little earlier, if you make a move and you happen, this is all hypotheticals, y'all, but if you happen to trade Kirk Cousins, who has played pretty good in my opinion for this team this year, you bring Michael Penix in and Michael Penix isn't ready, and people gonna lose their job. Arthur Blank probably gonna fire the entire staff, including Terry Fontenot, including Raheem Morris, and he'll just bring in a whole new staff. So you make an excellent point. Ark says big 404 energy in here. Shout out to the 404 in this thing. Atlanta, Georgia, what's happening? Says for gang energy going around here. What's happening in Toddy? I'm chilling, bro. Chilling, man. Just sitting back, watching a little football, man. Just enjoying Thanksgiving, bro. Fat boy like me, Thanksgiving, that's one of my favorite holidays, dog. So I'm still dipping and dabbing on these leftovers, bro. So I'm enjoying it, man. Art says make sure to hit the like button. Please, y'all, make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel a great deal, man. And thank you very much for that, Art. Appreciate it, brother. He says I'm okay with starting Penix next year. Why not? He should be about right about then. Maybe so. You know, Penix already. I saw some. He's already been on the field in regular season games twice this year. So you know, he's getting a little NFL experience. And one thing about it, you take a quarterback in the top 8, man. You don't anticipate he's gonna sit on the bench too long. It's not like when the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers, who they drafted him toward the end of the first round. When you take a quarterback in the top 10, man, you're saying, hey, this is my future. Especially when the guy in front of him, Kirk Cousins, in our case, is his mid to late 30s. So it's bound to happen soon. Jada in the building. What's going on? So I think Kirk will be traded these last 6 games. Depends, and Terry will be fired as well. So somebody else said, hey man, Terry Funk nobody get out of here too. He said Kirk gonna be traded and Terry gonna be right behind him. And you the second person that said that, man. Josh above you said the same thing, like, hey man, Terry about to get out of here too. It ain't gonna just be Kirk leaving here, it'll be Terry as well. One everyday person, shout out to you. Since Kirk can't be really traded because of his cap hit, we're gonna look at that also, because there are definitely some financial implications if you do decide to trade Kirk Cousins. You just can't trade him, and you know, there's no consequences financially by trading Kirk Cousins. So in just a moment, we're gonna look at, like, hey, if we do trade Kirk Cousins, what happens financially? So, you know, everybody stick around and we're gonna check out how that would or would not affect the Falcons financially by trading Kirk Cousins. We got our brother in the house, Brian Cornelius in the building. This is 404 in the building. Shout out to the 404 in this thing. Big Atlanta, Georgia energy in this thing. Shout out to the whole ATL. What's happening? What's going on? Jada says Terry Fontenot will be fired if the Falcons don't make the playoffs. I can see that. First, second, Kirk will be traded. I think Blank clearing the house. Blank wanted Bill, but Terry stepped in to save his job. It could have been a combination of Terry and also Rich McKay as well. It don't seem like Blank will sever any ties with Rich McKay, but you know, Terry, hey, you just another GM, bro. You ain't got the kind of status and the Arthur Blank hierarchy that Rich McKay has. So I definitely understand where you're coming from when you say that. Jada also says no trade clause mean the player pick where he goes and he can reject the trade. Yeah, for the very most part, you know, yeah, for the most part. In order for him to be traded, Kirk Cousins has to sign off on the trade. He has to essentially waive his no trade clause. So you are absolutely correct. You know, you just can't wake up one day and trade him and not get his approval. Kirk Cousins has to sign off on that trade. So you're absolutely correct. An everyday person says Kirk has a dead cap of $90 million if he is traded or if he is released. So again, there are some financial implications by trading him. Like I said, we're going to actually look at that in just a moment. We're going to pull up over the cap and we can look at that also. Jada says we can split the cap hit with the other team. Now, you bring up a good point.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
My bad, my Alexa started talking. But you bring up a good point. If we happen to find a team that likes Kirk Cousins that much, and they say, hey, Atlanta, you know, we'll step in and we'll pay some of this, you know. Now, the chances of that happening, I don't know. This team would have to really, really, really like Kirk Cousins. I mean, they have to really like him. And then his age doesn't do us any favors in that department either. Normally, you have younger quarterbacks who teams will step up and say, "Hey, we'll pay some of the money you guys are obligated to pay to help out your books because we want this guy that bad." But it can definitely happen. I'm not saying that it could not happen. Josh says we paying a first round pick to sit until Kirk's contract is over. That's not how you build a team. Valid point. And the thing about that now, let's say if we don't trade Kirk this offseason, which I'm going to go ahead and say, being transparent, to me, the chances of that happening as of this broadcast. I don't know what's gonna happen after Sunday's game. My chances could change one way or the other. But as of this broadcast, I think it's very unlikely. It's possible, plausible, but I think it's highly unlikely. Um, but the thing about it is Kirk Cousins on paper, he has a 4-year contract with the Falcons on paper. But realistically, he only has a 2-year contract. After the 2025 regular season is over, the Falcons are only on the hook for $10 million more of guaranteed money over that 2-year contract period. So essentially, 90% of Kirk Cousins' guaranteed money is paid out in 2 years, 2024 this year, 2025 next year. So after 2025, if the Falcons decide they want to move on, they could really just get out of that deal and owe him only $10 more million on paper. And for a quarterback contract, owing a quarterback $10 million more, that's peanuts. That is nothing. That's not even worth speaking on for an NFL team. So it's really just a 2-year contract, even though it says 4 years on paper. Josh says Terry is so bad at his job is crazy. So Josh not a fan of Terry Fontenot, and Terry has been I guess you could say he has been criticized by some within the fan base due to his draft and probably more than anything due to his draft philosophy. You know, starting off our rebuild, tight end, and all the offensive skill positions. And I've been very critical of that also. I still to this day don't like how we started off the rebuild, and it's nothing against the player, nothing personally against Kyle Pitts, but I never liked the idea of starting off the rebuild with a tight end, especially at that time when you had a decline in Matt Ryan, who only stayed here 1 year after Kyle Pitts. So you had 2 years of Kyle Pitts' rookie contract where you really was just going through the motions with him. In hindsight, hindsight is always 2020, but in hindsight, the right pick at the time for the Falcons, in hindsight, would have been Penei Sewell, who plays for Detroit right now. In hindsight, that would have been the correct pick. Jada says we stuck with Kirk, bro. I don't know. You might can finagle your way out of there. Especially if you got a quarterback desperate team, which the NFL always has, who wants to trade for Kirk. You can probably get out of that. So let's go ahead and get going. As I said at the start, man, Bleacher Report put out something about the Falcons possibly trading Kirk Cousins about a week ago. Before we go into that, let me give a shout out to Larry from the Dixon Way. Shout out to my brother Larry, y'all. If y'all are not subscribed to the Dixon Way, make sure that you do subscribe to the Dixon Way. Really some of the best in-game commentary that you're gonna find that covers all sports. Not just Falcons football, not just Atlanta Braves baseball, not just Atlanta Hawks basketball, but some of the best in-game commentary that you're gonna find. So if you're not subscribed, make sure to give them a follow, man. Larry says Georgia Tech whining like hoes. But take out the letter. Gotcha. Also smash that like button, like Dan Jackson sack. Yeah, man. They doing a lot of crying, and they saying the refs cheated for Georgia. That how that narrative goes. But look, they was up 17-0. You up 17-0, you better win that game. That's like us going back to the Super Bowl and us being up 28-3, and us complaining and saying the refs cheated us. No, like if you have a huge lead like that, you got to win the game. So no excuses. They lost. But it was a great game by Georgia Tech and their quarterback, man, Haynes King. I hope I'm saying his name right. Man, that was some of the best quarterbacking you gonna find. That guy played like a warrior. And last night's win was really just a testament to Kirby Smart, and a battle tested Georgia team. That I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I'm a big ass Bulldog fan, like I'm a big Falcons fan. But really, realistically, man, that's a game that Georgia Tech should have won. But when you have an excellent coach like Kirby Smart, you have a battle tested team like the Bulldogs, they find ways to win. That's what great teams and great coaches do. They find ways to win games that they shouldn't win. And again, being honest, that's a game we probably should not have won. But you keep fighting, you keep fighting, you keep fighting. And 8 overtimes later, Georgia won the game. But that was a game for the ages, man. That was a classic game. I sat here and watched it, man, and I was a nervous wreck. No pun intended, rambling wreck, Georgia Tech. But I was a nervous wreck, man. But that was a great game, man. You couldn't ask for a better game on Thanksgiving holiday or the weekend of Thanksgiving. But going back to the Kirk Cousins thing, y'all, I saw the Bleacher Report. They put out something on about a week ago, and then Jeremy Fowler put out something on it also. Jeremy Fowler is a pretty respected sports journalist, I guess I could call him. Has worked with a lot of different publications, and he put out an article that was covered by Sports Illustrated, talking about the Falcons could possibly trade Kirk Cousins after this season, which is now showing on the screen right now at this point in time. Let me move myself over. Yeah, but they put that out. And I'm just gonna quickly breeze through this. I'm not gonna bore y'all and read the entire thing, but it says I'm just gonna read some key points. It says the next 6 games could determine a lot about Kirk Cousins' future. He had shown the ability to get hot, throwing for at least 3 touchdowns in 3 of his first 9 games with the Falcons before the recent 2-game slide. Fowler wrote, I expect Atlanta to have a defined plan for Cousins that maximizes the passing game coming off the bye. But to your point, the results have been pretty good, but not optimal. So they're saying, hey, he's been pretty good, but it hasn't been peak results as of yet. It also is saying, and I'm just skipping through the article, y'all. Y'all can probably just Google this. Just Google Jeremy Fowler, Kirk Cousins, and it'll pop up. So I'm just gonna breeze through it. It says Cousins would have a trade market, but I can't think of a natural fit right now. The Raiders and Giants are in desperate need of a quarterback upgrade, but Cousins would prefer a contender and neither team qualifies. And that's going back to that no trade clause. Fowler continued, luckily for Atlanta, it doesn't have to do anything right now, and Cousins very well could remain in a Falcons uniform if the next 6 games go well. So they're pretty much hinging his future on what happens these next 6 games in Atlanta. Now, I will say this. Also shot the coach in the building. What's going on, coach? Coach says until we get a proven coach in here, it doesn't matter what we do. We will never be one of those elite teams. So coach is pretty much saying, with Raheem Morris, being a shot caller in the coach's room, it don't matter what we do or who we get. Coaching is holding us back a little bit. And y'all let me know, do y'all agree with coach on that point, or do you disagree with coach on that point? But going back more specifically on the Kirk Cousins situation, I know some of you talked about financially could it happen. Oh, going back to the article, they're pretty much saying these next 6 games could determine Kirk Cousins' future in Atlanta. Now, if the Falcons start back winning, they win 4 out of their next 6, 5 out of their next 6. Kirk starts back playing good football, then this is a non-story. Just ignore this column. But if the Falcons only win 2 out of the next 6, even only 3 out of the next 6, 1 out of the next 6, and we fall on our faces, we don't make the playoffs. At that point, the Falcons could push the button, put Kirk Cousins on the trade market, try to felicitate a trade with him and bring up Michael Penix if they think Penix is ready at that point in time. Now, a lot of you, well, some of you have mentioned the financial aspect of trading Kirk Cousins for good reasons. Because as we said, you just can't trade him and there's not be any financial implications. So we pulled up over the cap. Over the cap is on the screen right now. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit to make it easier to see. I hope I don't mess that up. Well, I tried to blow it up, y'all, but I don't know if I'm not hitting the right button or whatever. But I guess I'll have to go with that. We're looking at over the cap right now, y'all. We're going to look at the 2025 season. Let's say just going with hypotheticals. Let's say the Falcons decide to trade Kirk Cousins, right? Let's just go with the hypothetical. This is the 2025 season right here. Now, most trades, the vast majority of trades, they happen before June 1st. And the reason is because you got a lot of stuff that's happening before June. You know, you want to know what your team is when you know, before you start drafting and your OTAs and, you know, meeting the staff. You just kind of want to have, as a football franchise, you want to kind of have all your ducks in a row before June 1st. Once June 1st gets here, you know, you're pretty close to training camp at that point in time. Especially when you're talking about the quarterback position. You typically want your quarterback in place before June 1st. So the vast majority of trades happen before June 1st, which is I think a big reason how the NFL contracts go. If you make trade and you talking guaranteed money, you're penalized a lot more if you trade before June 1st. I think it all boils down to parity. You know, they're trying to keep everybody on the equal playing field. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that's the gospel. That's just my opinion. But the Falcons decided to trade Kirk Cousins before June 1st. You are looking at a $65 million dead cap hit. That is monumental. $65 million dead cap hit for that season, and the Falcons won't even save anything. We still would be in the red. We would lose $25 million on the cap. So, in my opinion, it is very unlikely Kirk would be traded before June 1st of next year. Now, if we go, and my bad, I'm looking at cut. My bad. So my fault, y'all. Let's erase everything I just said. That's if they cut him pre-June. So I do apologize. If he's traded pre-June, it's a $37.5 million dead cap hit, which is a lot better than the $65 million. And there would be a negative $2.5 million on the cap in terms of savings. So we wouldn't save anything on the cap, but it's only $2.5 million in the red. Now, if you wait to post-June, the numbers look damn good. If the Falcons feel like they need to trade Kirk and they wait to after June, the numbers work, y'all. At that point in time, you're only going to have a $12.5 million dead cap. We could swallow that. We could eat that fine. And look at this. We would save $27.5 million on the cap total. We would be good at that point in time. So if they do trade him after June, you know, and again, y'all, this is just hypothetical. I'm not saying we need to trade Kirk, so don't go say, oh man, Titus said we need to trade Kirk. We just looking at scenarios here. In my opinion, Kirk Cousins has played good football for the Falcons. So I'm not up here trying to trade him. I'm just covering the story. But going back again, if somehow they can facilitate a trade post-June, the dead cap is only $12.5 million. and you save $27.5 million that same season. And we don't even have and at that point, of course, Michael Penix would be the starter. He's still on a rookie contract. So, man, we would have a lot of money. We would pretty much get $30 million added to our cap. And you can go out and fill a lot of holes on defense with that kind of money. Then the following 2 years, you get all that money back. So if there's some way that they could trade him post-June, that would make all the sense in the world, because at that point in time, the Falcons could really, really do some things. Now, again, all of this is under the premise that for whatever reason, Kirk Cousins doesn't play good football these last 6 games. The Falcons don't play good football the next 6 games. But financially, post-June, it could definitely work. Now, after the 2025 season, let's just say we keep him, of course, this year and next year. After next year, all his guaranteed money is pretty much gone. And really, y'all, I really think the only way the Falcons keep Kirk Cousins past the 2025 season, he has to be playing some. He has to be a top 3 quarterback in the league, and the Falcons either have to win a Super Bowl or they have to be very, very close to winning a Super Bowl. And it's looking like he could lead us to a Super Bowl victory, the 2026 season. The reason I say that, because I want y'all to look at this number. Kirk Cousins' cap hit in 2026 turns to $57.5 million. So if he stays here past those 2 years, his cap hit essentially goes to about $60 million. And the flip side is, are the Falcons going to pay him $60 million when you got Michael Penix Jr. sitting there in the wings, still on a rookie contract, or would you just trade him or release him and you save $45 million on the cap? Let's go look at it if we release him. If you release Kirk post-June of 2026, the dead cap hit is only 12.5, and you save $45 million that same calendar year on the salary cap. So again, unless the Super Bowl comes, I really don't see Kirk Cousins here past the 2025 season. Peak NFL says this team has potential, but this coaching staff is bringing them down. Jerry needs to sell the team. I think you mean Arthur. Jerry Jones owns the Cowboys. I think you mean Arthur needs to sell the team. A good owner, not a McDonald's type owner. Peak NFL also says if we might need to win out to actually not be frauds, so we need our offense to step it up and the defense. Yeah, we need both sides of the ball to step it up. Jada says tomorrow will define the rest of the season. I agree, man. I totally agree. To me, it's a must-game win for Atlanta, man. I really don't think the Falcons can afford to go to 500. I hate to say it, but I really think that would be detrimental to the morale of the team. Going 500 after being so promising just about a month ago. This team really needs to go to 7-5 and keep some distance between themselves and Tampa Bay. If you mess around and you go 6-6, man, now you're gonna be dealing with a lot of stress in the locker room, a lot of finger pointing, and then you got to deal with everything that's gonna be out there in the media as well. I also wanted to talk about some comments that Raheem Morris made about Matthew Judon, y'all. But I already have hit the 30-minute mark, and this is the 30-minute break, so I gotta stay true to the meaning of the broadcast. 30 minutes or less. This is something you can watch when you break at work, or if you just got a quick 30 minutes. We'll talk about those Matthew Judon comments probably the next time we do a live, which will be, God willing, tomorrow after the game. So with that said, I'm gonna get ready to check out of here. Come on, Falcons. We back at home after bye week. You can't lose this game. Chargers are coming. They're flying in from Cali on a short week to Atlanta. So Atlanta, Raheem, Kurt, Jimmy Lake, Zach Robinson, no excuses. Vegas has you as the underdog, but you guys, this is the game we must win. No excuses. Bye week. Everybody had a chance to get rested, so we got to come in here and win. With that said, I want to thank everybody for stopping by, coming through. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your interaction. Enjoy the rest of the games, and I will see y'all sometime tomorrow for the post-game show after the Falcons versus Chargers game. Y'all be good. God bless. Peace.